Hello friends, I'm Brian, and this is Gizmo Board Games. Today I'm going to give some holiday recommendations for family gaming. Not really theme oriented, maybe a couple of them hit the theme. But here in America it is about to be Thanksgiving, and that's usually a time where the family gets together and enjoys a large meal and family time together in celebration of all the things we have to be thankful for. So with that in mind, I'm thinking, what games, if I've got a family together, what am I trying to play with them? And I've grabbed some things. You'll see some on the table here. I'll talk about some others that, we're together. We want to play some games, and we could grab Monopoly or Life or a deck of cards or whatever and play the usual games. Or we could check out something new and different. And that's what I'm trying to give you, just some other ideas for games to kind of get the family together in various circumstances. So first of all, let's start off with the game that I think plays up to 8 people and just wacky, crazy fun. You're betting on, but not really. It's not really a gambling game, but you can get the feel of it, I guess, a little bit. But you're betting on camels racing around the board, and that is Camel Up. I've got the original edition, but you could also get an older version of the game, or I should say a newer version of the game, where it adds the reverse camels too, and that really shakes things up, I imagine. Again, I haven't played that one. I would love to, because Camel Up by itself is crazy, wacky fun, good time. Bet on camels, see who wins, try to collect the most money from your bets along the way, or just from moving the camels. You also earn things for just making the camels move. A lot of crazy fun in Camel Up. Plays up to 8 people, I believe, so you can get a lot of people around the table going crazy. I think Ready Set Bet is similar too. I haven't played that one, so if that one's more on your radar, or easy for you to grab, maybe Ready Set Bet could work. I don't know how that one works though. I haven't played it. Another big group game where you're getting into teams and you're kind of thinking out, what does this person mean when they do this thing or they say this thing. This could be code names. That's one of the obvious choices. I think individually, maybe Dixit, you're playing art cards out, and this is kind of a mix of the two. This is Muse, a game I used to own. I don't own it anymore. But in Muse, basically one team is picking one card out of a handful of them, or not even out of a handful. They're going to pick one card, and they're going to pick a different card that says how the person, the Muse for the other team, has to interpret or give their clue. And then they're going to shuffle the cards, I think 5 different cards, lay them out, and then the Muse, using just the one wacky how you do it, whether it's through a song or whether through its shape, saying a shape, I think is one of them. I know saying a song is, or whistling a show tune or something like that. But they've got a certain way to give the clues to try to nail down which one of the 5 cards on display was the actual real chosen card that was picked. And you're just playing team games. You can play as many people on each team as you want and rotate through who's the Muse, doing these crazy things, using one letter of the alphabet to determine that this is the card I was talking about. It's just crazy, neat fun. Again, a lot of people around the table just having a crazy good time with Muse. Again, you could do the same thing with like code names and I believe some other games. I've got Deception Murder in Hong Kong. Not exactly similar, but a lot of people kind of sussing things out. And or I could say Bang, the dice game. Also similar but different. Bunch of choices there. But maybe you got some young ones. You just want to get together with the kids. You got some little kids together. And you just want to play something kind of easy, but a little bit thinky, a little cutesy. I'm going with Animals on Board. This is an I Split You Choose game where you're just splitting off from, I think, 12 or so animal bits on the board. You're just splitting them up, and then you're picking one of that group to add to your collection, and you want to have a good score of animals. But I think if you have 2, if you're in the game with 2 of any animal, those animals don't count towards scoring because they're going on the arc. So you want to end up with either a lot of animals or high scoring individual animals, things like that. It's been a while since I played this one too. but it's easy for the kids. I think it plays 4, so it's not going to hold as many people, but for the little kids, it's super easy. You're just picking up one set of animals, and then you're trying to get same or different animals into your board at the end of the game. And then you're going to get rid of, like I said, any one that where you have pairs of animals, those are just going to go away. So you're trying to set people up to maybe get stuck with animals. Really easy, really fun. And if you want a different iSplit You Choose choice for a smaller group, and maybe animals in the Ark isn't your thing, maybe you like pizza. New York Slice is a similar style iSplit You Choose, a little more mathy though, so maybe not as good for the kids. Maybe this is good for the older folks who want to get into an iSplit You Choose type family style game. Or maybe you just want to think quite a bit. Maybe you don't want something light and easy. Maybe your group, your family getting together, you just want something light but thinky. I've got a couple games here. They're both sitting right here. We got Creature Comforts, which fits that fall theme. You've got creatures getting ready for the winter, making their comforts, collecting the items they need to build those comforts. And then those comforts could be comfort food, comfort clothing, comfort, help around the house, whatever the case is. And you're trying to score points based on all the comforts you can make. And it's a worker placement game where you're using dice as your workers, and you got to meet certain bills. And this one's going to be a little bit thinkier, but not overwhelming. I think if you've played some games with your family and you're ready to do something kind of lightweight, but not lightweight, and that fits the fall theme, you got Creature Comforts. Or maybe you want to send your workers out and help dragons make some food. Again, you're collecting resources, you're trying to meet certain goal objectives, and really you're just going from place to place, helping dragons cook in Flamecraft. It's really cute, easy to get out for the family. If you've got the upgraded one, you printed off big 3D dragons that are going out. Or you can use the wooden meeples like I got in the basic game, whatever. This one looks fun, light, but really does have some strategy to it, and where you're going and how you're going to utilize the abilities of the building as the time calls for it, or the abilities of the dragons. Or maybe you're just trying to fulfill the things on the board, the enchantment cards, and get a bunch of points that way. There's quite a bit to think about, but nothing over strenuous. And again, it's just family friendly looking with the artful, colorful, cute dragons. But moving away from that, maybe you want to play something just silly. There's a lot of just silly games, dexterity games. I've got Hamster Roll here. You can't really see it here. Let me lift it up a little bit. Hamster Roll is one of our go-to. This one only plays 4 people, but you're just taking turns putting a thing on a wheel and trying not to get those various pieces of wood to fall off, and be the first one to clear yourself out of any wooden pieces. They come in various sizes. They're all pretty much rectangular in shape. There are a couple variations on that. And there's some rules for placement that you have to follow as well. But you're just trying to not make them fall off the wheel. I know there's plenty of other dexterity style games. We've got Ice Cool as well. I think with the 2 versions we have, Ice Cool and Ice Cool 2, I think we can play 8 people, and you're just flicking penguins around. That's another family friendly game. Definitely for the kids with the little penguins you're shooting around. And then I haven't played Rhino Hero, I think is what it's called, or Junk. I don't remember the Junk one, but there are other dexterity games where you're just kind of being silly, doing things to try to not mess up the game. Or in the case of Ice Cool, you're just chasing penguins around with flicking. Or maybe you want to play Zombie Kids Evolution. I think there's a Zombie Teens too, which I'm sure plays the same. And this one, again, is more kid-friendly. And you're just going around and you're dealing with zombies around a school, and you're trying to lock the gates in the 4 different locations. Using some dice rolling in that one. And this one plays, I've mentioned it in the past, I've got a review on it even, but this one's kind of campaign style, where the more you play it, the more you're going to add kind of new things, new twists to the game. Zombie Kids Evolution, again, just another friendly game, and a little bit of a horror theme, but not really. It's really cute, cartoony, zombie chasing, but you're working together in this one, so it's the way to get together with the kids and play together on a cooperative style game. So that's Zombie Kids Evolution. And then, of course, there's an old classic I've got right here, King of Tokyo. I think this one also plays to 8. Let me look at the box. Oh, it says 6 on the box. But you're just chucking dice and trying to be the king of Tokyo, be the last monster standing in the middle of town. Or maybe you're just going for points. There are two different ways to play. You can try to beat up all the other monsters. I don't know why I'm struggling with that. With all the other monsters, the things on the city, you can just try to swipe them all and knock them all out. Or you can just go for points, play for points. But you're rolling Yahtzee style dice, and you're getting kind of what you get after 3 rolls, and dealing damage, collecting points. You can collect energy, I believe they're called, and turn them in for helpful cards that help you meet certain things you can use at various times to boost your attack power or get you more points, or whatever the case is. King of Tokyo, an old classic, again, plays a lot of people, easy to teach, easy to play, get it out, roll it up, doesn't even take up much space. This is one I actually hadn't thought about in a while, and saw it on my shelf, like I definitely got to include King of Tokyo. It's not really my kind of game because I'm not really a dice chucker, but this is definitely a family friendly, get it out, play it on the side table while you're waiting for dinner type of game. Or you could play something like Cartographers. I've got Dungeons, Dice, and Danger right behind me. Just kind of roll and write type games. Usually these, you can play up to as many people as you want, as many sheets of, the map in the case of Dungeons, Dice, and Dragons, Danger as you have. Or Rolling Realms is a really complex one. What else am I thinking of? But mostly I've got the Cartographers on the list. It's a game I recently got, and I think you can play multiple people, and you're just kind of flipping a card out, and everybody's going to make a choice based on the cards they choose to draw onto their little cartography map. And at the end of the game, everybody's going to have different maps that are going to score different, and you're just trying to do better with the same information as everyone else, the same rolls, the same card flip, whatever. So there are a bunch of options to choose from for rolling rights, flipping rights, and whatever. My choice specifically is either Cartographers, which is the real choice, or behind me, Dungeons, Dice, and Danger. 2 different but similar kind of games that really I think you can get as many people around the table as you want to play them, and there are a multitude of other options in that category. And then finally, for this list of 10, because this is kind of a top 10 in no particular order, maybe you're used to playing these trick-taking games around the table with your family. You play hearts, you play spades, you play euchre if you're from the Midwest. A bunch of other type games, Hands and Feet, I think, is a similar game. I haven't really played that one. So just a spin on that one is here, Cat in the Box, which is another trick-taking game, which kind of blends a bunch of different things together, but you don't have the suit determined as you play the card. You're determining that once it's played, and then basically claiming that card on the little tracker board of the different numbers and colors. And you can actually get stuck where you can't even legally play a card. And if that happens, you're actually going to lose points on the round. So you really want to avoid that. You want to try to get your tricks just right, because you can score bonus points based on where your cubes are on the board. It's a really neat twist to all the other trick-taking games. So if you're someone who likes trick-taking games like me, and you've got a group of 4, or in this case 5, to play with in your family who are also trick-taking game, because you're probably not going to teach this to someone who's not familiar with trick-taking. But if you're someone who is familiar, and you've got a group that's familiar with trick-taking games, and you just want to change it up a little bit, I've got Cat in the Box. And I believe this one's pretty readily available at Target and stuff like that too. So it shouldn't be hard to find. So that's it for the official list. I've got one last kind of honorable mention, jokey one at the end. But maybe you don't have the big family. Maybe there's just 2 of you, and you want a game that kind of feels like you're eating and sitting around having a good time. I've got Beer and Bread for you. Just to fit the bill. It's a 2-player game where you're picking cards out of your hands and switching the hands back and forth, and they're multi-use cards, so you can use them, for the straight-up rewards. You can use them for long-term abilities or scoring, or there's other options for the cards. But multi-use cards, they're my kind of jam. And if you've only got 2 people to play with, this holiday season, and you want something that feels kind of like you're sitting around eating Beer and Bread, kind of my honorable mention at the end for an 11th option, because maybe you just don't have the family, but you still want to get the feels. So that's my choice for that. And that's the list. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Comment below your thoughts on these games and other options you choose. And if you haven't already, subscribe and come back for my next video. I'll see you then.